So in my courses, I teach what I call the 3 Ds. D1 is to detect and avoid. D2 is to de-escalate and defuse. And D3 is to defend if you have to. So let's talk about this situation where you haven't been able to avoid it or escape. You haven't been able to talk the person down or change the dynamics so that the incident doesn't blow up. Maybe it's an ambush where you don't even have a chance to do that. And you have to fight. What are you going to do? What are you going to rely on? First is you're going to tap into your sense of indignation. Indignation is that sense of, hell no, you're not doing this to me today. This is not going to happen. You have to tap into that. Coach Blauer says that there are more people with absolutely no training whatsoever who have safely and successfully defended themselves through pure will and indignation than there are any trained people who have been attacked and successfully defended themselves. Think about that. Indignation is huge. So you have to tap into that, and you have to remember what your personal reason for surviving is. You have to know your why. You also have a gift, which is what we call the human weapon system. Our bodies are designed to protect us. We are walking, talking survival systems. We have been domesticated. We are now very accustomed to outsourcing our safety to first responders. But as Coach Blauer likes to say in our courses, when it's happening to you, you're your first responder. The police aren't going to get there in the period of time that the event is happening, because most of these incidents are a matter of seconds, and it takes minutes for first responders, whether it's police or firefighters or somebody else, to get to you. So it's good that we have this system built in. The thing is, it'll take over and cause action whether we think about it or not. In fact, if there's a stimulus introduced in our environment, whether it's we walk into a spider web or somebody pops out from behind a pillar as we're walking to our car and brandishes a gun and says, get in my car, get in my car. It doesn't matter. What we're going to do, what our reptilian brain is going to do, is it's going to make us flinch. It's called a startle flinch reflex. And we're going to go like this. We're going to bring our hands up to protect our heads because there's something really important in here. The brain, right? And we follow that up with pushing away danger. And this is something that we cannot intercept because it's not a cognitive process. It's not that we think, danger, I need to protect my head, I need to push away. This is our reptilian brain leaping into action and doing it faster than we can think. And that's what makes our system so different from martial arts, which are based on, in this case, when the attack is coming in, you do this technique to defeat it. And actually, you have 1, 2, and 3 techniques that you can use against a punch or a choke. Okay? We start with, your body is going to flinch and push away danger. Now what do you convert to? How do you convert that into some kind of protective movement? What do you have on your hands? You got nails. You can scratch, you can poke, you can gouge, you can pinch, you can twist. You've got teeth that can bite. My mother is 90 years old, and she's watched my courses several times. And she's never actually done the physical part, but she's heard me talk about it. And my fiance came up behind her in the kitchen one day and just grabbed her from behind. And without a hesitation, she just went, "Humph," and she chomped down on his forearm, and he had a massive bruise for weeks. She didn't even think about it. So do you think that if she's walking the dogs and somebody thinks he's going to mug her and he grabs her from behind, what do you think she's going to do? She's going to react. She's never trained to bite somebody, as far as I know. She's never done martial arts. That is her natural system coming out and protecting her. Another thing you have to think about is your mindset is everything. So we've talked about knowing your reason to survive. We've talked a little bit about what bad guys want and don't want. And we've talked a little bit about how to manage fear. So you have to know that the bad guy's plan is his plan. Whatever you do is going to disrupt it, and he doesn't like to deal with that. You have to be in touch with your own abilities. And this is a really cool thing because we're all different ages, we're different shapes and sizes, we have different backgrounds, different levels of athleticism and being sedentary. And it doesn't matter because we're all equally equipped to protect ourselves. Make sense? I think that's pretty cool. So what that means is that you need to believe in your own abilities. You need to have the mindset that you don't need to look outside. You don't need to outsource your safety to somebody else. You're in charge of your safety, and you have the tools and the knowledge and the ability to keep not just yourself, but your loved ones safe too. Now that might be that you're coming out of the house with your kids to get into the car, and you see a car slowly driving down the street, and you think that the people are kind of casing the houses. You have in that moment a choice. Do you remember what your goal is? Choose safety, right? So everything depends on the scenario. It always depends on the situation. That's why I can't tell you in this situation do this or do that. It's you who's going to have to make the choice as to what you do. And whatever choice you make, you're going to do it, and then you're going to engage your situational awareness. You're going to listen to your instincts and intuition, and you're going to remember what your reason to survive is. And if you have to make another choice and another decision and do something else, you're going to do that. Today, I want you to think about what it will cost you if you don't fight back. And I want you to remember that. Every time you wake up in the morning, every time you leave the house. And I want you to remember that you're making a commitment to keep yourself safe for a reason. And I want you to remember that you have what it takes. It doesn't matter who you are or what your shape is, what your beliefs are, you've got it. Thank you.